All right, we will get started, and then if folks decide to come log on a little later, that is no problem. We are recording this, so I just want to let you know that. Thank you to our media services team for helping out. So welcome everyone. My name is Megan Sage. I am the Dean of Students on campus, and I am so glad to have you here. Thank you for logging on today. I am going to spend a little bit of time today talking to you about just some quick overview of some services that we offer on campus, give you some information and some sort of helpful tips before you start, and hopefully answer any questions that you might have as you get ready to start here this fall. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we will get started. So welcome. We are so glad to have you here. I am streaming to you live from campus. My office is in the Student Center on campus, and I have been back for about 2 weeks. We were remote for almost the whole pandemic, and so working from home, and our campus was mostly shut down, and we have been working really hard this summer to get ready for students to be back and are really excited to have you. It is so great to be back, but it's very quiet, and it will be wonderful when we have people back, especially our students who really, you all are what we love about our jobs and about working here. And so just really happy to have you. Like I said, I'm the Dean of Students on campus. And so what that means is that I help oversee a lot of the student services that we offer on campus that are really set up to help you all be successful when you come here as students. And so I'm going to super briefly overview what some of those services are and some of the exciting things that we offer, give you a couple tips, and then leave time for questions. So here on the screen, you can see some of the areas that fall under student affairs and campus initiatives that we offer on campus. We have an incredible athletics department, and so you may be a student athlete or you may not. And if you're not, that's okay. We have club sports available to students to participate in. We have intramural sports that you can compete in. We have a really amazing fitness center available to our students, as well as beautiful fields that you can just like play on and hang out with your friends if you're interested. There's a lot in the way of athletics that is available to you. And so if you're interested, you are more than welcome to participate in that. We also have our Office of Student Involvement. You may have gone the first week of orientation, there was a session on student involvement, and so you may have already learned about that. But we do have more than 60 clubs and organizations available to you on campus. We also have trips and events to participate in, something happening every day, all the time. And so there is a lot of opportunity to get connected and to get involved on campus. The Residence Life Office, if you are planning to live on campus in the fall, the Residence Life Office is who you would go to for help with that. If you have been sort of on the fence and undecided, you still have time, and we do still have room on campus, and so you can apply to live on campus. If you decide that you don't want to live on campus, that is fine, and you'll still have a great experience. Our student involvement team does program for commuters, so they plan specific commuter events. We have a commuter lounge on campus that is a place you can hang out in between classes, meet other commuters, and so there are lots of supports available for both of those groups. We also have the Wellness Center on campus. So our Wellness Center is free to students, and it offers you free counseling if that's something that you're interested in, or free health services. So if you have a cold, if you're sick, if you need to see a nurse for something, that is available to you right here on campus. You don't have to leave, and it is a service that is provided to all students. It's really important to note that every student needs to submit health forms and records before they get here this fall. And so you may have received an email this week reminding you that you haven't done that yet. If you don't have it done, you won't be allowed to come for your classes in the fall. And so please make sure that that is something that you get working on. They were due on July 1st, so you're overdue if you haven't done them, but you have time and you still can. So please get working on those. We also have our public safety office. So the thing that the buzz about public safety this week is that parking passes went on sale. So if you have a car and you would like to have it here this fall, either if you're a commuter or a resident, you can. Parking passes are $200 for first-year students for the year. For commuters, they're $50 for the year. And so you can go on our public safety site and register for a parking pass. And you'll need to have that when you get here in the fall in order to park around campus and not get parking tickets, which we like to avoid. Our Veteran Services Offices is available to any of our veteran students. So if you are a student veteran, we have a lounge on campus that our student veterans spend time in between classes, meeting other student veterans. And so that is available and a really great resource for you. And then we have Barnes & Noble Bookstore and Sodexo Dining Services. So our bookstore is on campus in the Student Center. It's actually reopening next Monday. So you can go get any SNHU gear that you're looking for, hoodies, blankets, all that good stuff so that you can represent. You also can get your books there for the fall. And so you can look through their website and enter your schedule, and that is how you'll know what books you need. And so they are available either to come in or to do that online, either way. And then Sodexo Dining Services is our dining services, obviously, for campus. We have a dining center, and then we have a whole bunch of coffee shops available to students. If you're a resident student, you will need to you'll have a mandatory meal plan for your first semester. If you're a commuter, you can purchase a meal plan if you want, but you don't have to. Or you can use your debit card, your credit card, or cash at any of our dining locations. And then there's a couple other support services I thought would be important to share, even though they don't necessarily fall under student affairs. So our Campus Accessibility Center is available to all students. If you have a disability or you had any accessibility support when you were in high school, we have that support here for you. A lot of times we see that students feel like they've done it in high school and they can do it themselves in college and don't need that support. But then what we typically see is that after their first semester, they realize they really could have used that support. Their grades might have been a little higher. And so really suggesting that you look into that and get in contact with the Campus Accessibility Center before you get here. Our academic advising team, each of you will get an academic advisor assigned to you at the beginning of August. They are there to help you your entire time here with your schedule, your classes. If you're thinking about you want to change your major, things like that, your academic advisor is here to help with that. And so the academic advising office is in the Green Center on campus and can help. Along with the Wolak Learning Center, they are available to help with tutoring, if you need help with your classes, with writing, math, anything, all classes they support. And so thinking about using that resource when you get here. The Center for Community Engaged Learning is a great place to go if you are interested in community service. So many of you probably have been involved with community service in high school or just on your own with your family and your friends. The Center for Community Engaged Learning is there to connect you with community service projects in the area, and they are a great way to get connected, as are our Diversity Programs Office and our Women's Center. Both places that have lounges, events, ways to connect with people, and find your people here, find your group at SNHU. I think it's important going into this year to talk about that we are working really hard to make sure that your safety is our priority and that our campus is a safe place to come back to. So for the past 16, 17 months, we have been in a pandemic and a lot of people have just been home with their families, not doing too much. And we have not really even been on campus. And so we've been working really hard as a campus community to make sure that this is a safe place for you to come back to. We have a COVID-19 task force and campus operations team that have been working on all the logistics, making sure that we have policies and processes set up to make sure that it is as safe as possible. We have a COVID dashboard so that it weekly gives updates on how many COVID cases we have on campus, so that we're transparent with that information and that our whole campus community is aware. And so we have a COVID-19 amendment to our student handbook that'll be important for you all to review before you get here, so you know what our mask policy is, vaccination, things like that. And I'm happy to answer questions if you have them. But most important is to know that we are getting ready and that we are ready to have you back here safely. So there are a couple important things that you need to think about before you get to campus. And your orientation leaders are probably shared this with you. You're going to be getting a mailer home in a couple weeks with a checklist so that you are reminded of what these things are. But the first and most important is to get connected. So there is a new to SNHU app that you should all have and be aware of. It basically has all the information you need to come back. And so logging onto that either on your phones or your computers, whatever, that is something that you should definitely be looking into. I already talked about completing your health requirements, so I won't repeat, but just know that that is really important. Bills, financial aid, your bills for coming to SNHU were published this week, so reviewing that, understanding what your financial aid looks like, what your bill looks like for the year. You may have work study listed, federal work study listed on your bill, and that means that you are eligible for a federal work study job on campus. Those will be posted at the beginning of August, so you can start looking for a job on campus. Whether or not you have work study, those will be available to you. Uploading your student ID photo. So when you get here, you will get a student ID that will get you into your building. It will get you into the fitness center. It'll get you, if you have a meal plan, that's what you'll use to pay for your meals. And so in order to get a student ID, you need a student ID photo. There's information on New to SNU on how you can upload your photo, what the parameters are for that. And so making sure that you do that so that when you get here, we have your ID ready for you. Applying for a parking permit, like I talked about, buying your books, and then reviewing the student handbook, which I also talked about. And so just a couple words of wisdom sort of as you prepare to become an SNHU student. It is an exciting time, probably a really overwhelming time, and hopefully some of this will be helpful as you get ready to come here. So understanding that this will be a transition for you and your family. It is a really different time in your life. Some of you may be the first students who are coming to college. Some of you maybe, have had older brothers or sisters or siblings who are coming. And so just knowing that it's going to be a transition for you, it'll be hard for your family. And it might be exciting, it might be scary, it's a whole bunch of emotions, but just knowing that that's normal and that you and your family will work through that together. Commit to finding at least one thing to be passionate about. So I super briefly talked about all that we have to offer here: clubs, organizations, athletics, getting involved with your faculty when it comes to projects or conferences, things like that. There are lots of ways to get connected and to find where you belong and find your people. And so finding at least one thing to be passionate about will really help you stay connected and find community here. So that's really important. Understand that all of your choices have consequences that can be both positive and negative. So you could decide when you get here that you're going to get involved in everything. You're going to join a ton of clubs. You're going to be involved in intramurals. You're going to be a writing tutor. You're going to do it all. There are consequences to that, right? Great consequences that you'll be involved. You'll probably make a ton of friends. You'll have a lot of great references, a great resume. It could also mean that you are exhausted, that you are pulled in a million directions. You could decide when you get here that you're not going to get involved in anything and you are just going to party. And that comes with its own consequences. And so just asking that you think about what type of student you want to be, what kind of community member you want to be, and what choices you make and those consequences are, how that reflects on you and what you want your experience to be. The appreciation for difference will make you a better community member. So our campus is probably going to be different than what you're used to at your high school. It may be more diverse. It may be less diverse. You will meet people that have different political views, different religious views, who act differently, dress differently, look differently than you. And so understanding that that is a wonderful thing and that that will make you a better person, it will help prepare you better for when you are done here. And just taking the time to appreciate what that will mean and think about that before you get here. Recognize when you need help. So college is hard. It is going to be hard in different ways for different people. Knowing that it's okay to say you need help. That could be that you need tutoring help. It could be that you're having a hard time meeting friends and finding your people, that you may be feeling the effects of COVID-19 and you feel like you might need a counselor or that you might have anxiety. All of that is normal, and recognizing that it's normal and recognizing that it's okay to ask for help will be super important. And so hopefully the resources that you'll get from orientation, your orientation leader is a great resource for that as well, to be able to get connected when you do need help. We want you to feel at home. So whether you live here or not, we want this to be a place that feels like home to you. It's going to be 4 years of your life. And we want you to come here and feel like this is where I'm meant to be. Hopefully you chose it because of that. And we want it to continue to feel that way. So hopefully using some of the tips that I've shared, and really connecting to be able to have this be a place that you feel like home. And then getting connected and using your resources is super important. So I very quickly overviewed a lot of the resources for you. But you'll find that when you're here, using your resources, connecting with people, and using those people as resources will help you be as successful as possible in your time here. And so with that, on the screen, you see my Twitter handle. You may or may not have Twitter. If you don't, you can make a Twitter real easy, a Twitter handle. And so if you, between today and tomorrow at noon, send me a tweet with something that you're looking forward to for the fall, you will be entered to win free books for the fall. We will pay for your books. I gave away so far this week 2 sets of books to 2 incoming students who did that. So take a minute at megsage724. This is a great way to start using your resources. We want to help support you and have a great beginning of your time here. And so please feel free to do that. And I would love to be able to pick you. And so that is my super quick overview. I want to be able to ask any questions that you might have that I might not have talked about or that I might have talked about that you want more information on. And so tell me what else you're thinking, what you're excited about, what I can help you answer as you get ready to come here in just a couple weeks. You can use the chat if you would like to use the chat to ask questions. That might be easier, or you can feel free to unmute and ask verbally. I'm very used to quiet, awkward silences, so I'm cool with it. No questions. Everybody's ready? Got what you need?
Well, I'm excited to become a game designer, to be joining.
Oh, that's
soon.
Awesome. Our game design programs are amazing, and our game design faculty are really incredible. So that will be a really good program for you. A lot of fun.
Thank you.
Good. Anybody else? Questions, thoughts, things you feel like you need info on? Is there a certain website to order our textbooks? Yes, through our campus website, our campus bookstore. So if you go on the New to SNU app, which I am going to put a link to in the chat here, it will have links to everything you need. But I will also put a link to the bookstore. If you go to the campus bookstore website and enter your schedule, which you may or may not have yet. If you don't have your schedule yet, thanks, Colleen. If you don't have your schedule yet, you will be getting it soon. So you can take your schedule, enter into the website what your classes are, and it will automatically tell you what books your professor has mandated for that class and what you need. So you can buy them through the bookstore. You can buy them through another website, Amazon, whatever. It's up to you, but that campus bookstore site will tell you what books you need for your classes. other questions?
I have a question, but it's more kind of a different question.
Sure.
Um, it's more so about your experience to know what you like. But if you had the opportunity to, I would say, change one thing about SNHU, what would it be? And if you wouldn't want to change anything, is there something you would like to add to the system?
Great question. So if I think I heard you correctly, something that you'd want to change about SNHU, and if there wasn't something you'd want to change, something you'd want to add. This is good. And if there are any orientation leaders on here that want to answer that, please feel free as well. I will say, I can't think of anything I'd like to change because I think this is a pretty great place. Gosh, that's a hard one. Megan White just unmuted her camera, which means she has an answer for this.
Yes. I would say the biggest thing sometimes was parking, but they also just added all the parking behind Kingston. So it's really not an issue anymore. But I don't know if Casey had something. She also turned her camera on.
I just say like when coming to SNU, like I didn't apply to a lot of schools, but like I just knew that SNU like kind of checked off all my boxes. So that was something that was really good. So I wouldn't say like I wouldn't necessarily want to change anything because that's kind of why I wanted to go to SNU. But if I wanted to add something, I had something, but I forgot it. So honestly, like I'm kind of content. I like the vibe that SNU brings, so that's kind of where I am.
I will say something I miss is that our Sodexo, our dining services, is closed right now just because they're getting ready for the school year. They're normally open year round. And so I am big time missing having them open because I have to bring my own coffee in, which like really tough life. And also I really miss the salad bar because I love the salad bar here. Casey.
I actually just remembered. So you said the dining hall, and they have a lot of ice cream flavors, and I think they should add some more. That's what I think.
Solid suggestion. I like it. Anybody else have questions? When will they, oh, it says the textbooks are still pending for your classes. Gotcha. So typically they would already be in the system by now. I think that everyone's a little behind because of COVID. And so if you go on and there's nothing listed, you have plenty of time. Some of your faculty may not even enter it, even though they're supposed to. And you may go to class the first week of class, and your first class, they will give you a syllabus that has a list of the books that you need. And so there is a chance that you might not have anything listed until then. And then if that's the case, they would know that you need a minute to get the books. And so if there's nothing listed until you get to class, that's okay. You can get the syllabus from the faculty and wait until that week to buy your books. Either go right to the bookstore or order them online. So hopefully coming soon. Do you know what to do if you receive scholarships from your school? How does that whole situation work? So Emily, I'm assuming you mean from your high school, is that right? Yeah, okay. So if you look at your bill, if our Student Financial Services just sent out bills, and if you go to the My SNHU site, you will see your bill on that site. If the scholarship that you are anticipating isn't listed, I would suggest reaching out to Student Financial Services. I will put their email address in the chat. Oh, and Megan White just put the phone number because she's so speedy. So you can reach out to them and ask, and they'll be able to help guide you with that process. Hi, Caitlin, no worries. We are recording this and we're actually going to post either this one or another similar one. So you'll be able to review anything, but I essentially just overviewed some of the services that we offer on campus and gave a few tips and just answering questions that people have about as they prepare to come back to campus, actually for the first time. So if there's anything I can answer, I'm happy to do so. Sure thing. Any last questions? I am putting my email address in the chat. So if you have any and you want to reach out to me directly, I'm happy to help and answer anything that would be helpful. It's depending on where you are. This is like the first day it's been sunny in Manchester in a really long time. So if it's the same for you, you probably want to get out of here and go outside. And so I'm not going to hold you for longer than I need to. But if you have questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you so much for being here and taking the time. And we are so excited to welcome you here in the fall and excited to see you really soon. So have a great rest of the summer and we'll see you in about a month and a half. Thanks, everybody.